An interesting thing I found with people and using, let's say, tracking their nutrition along the way towards their goal is when there was a day that they didn't do well in their assessment, they just didn't track it at all. And it's almost like if I don't track it, it never happened, and I don't have to face my decisions. And I'm not saying that you should shame yourself and guilt yourself, but I think it's a piece of awareness that you need to have. So let's say you did overeat in terms of your budget this time. You should be plugging it in. And you might find that you're 700 calories over your what you should be having. That information is helpful because maybe what you do is the next 5 days, you leave 150 calories each one of those days. And then by the end of that 7th day, so you had that day that you ate, you had the 5 days that you're recovering, the 6th to 7th day, you're back to even. And it's not a write-off, and you don't have to feel ashamed at all. But you don't get that unless you're aware. You don't get that unless you're measuring. So there's ways that you can make this budget work. There's no shame in it. It happens. It happens to everybody. And I mean everybody, that they eat more than they would have liked. But the point is that you need to still continue to measure. You might end up in these social situations where you have a drink, and that means that you end up having a little bit extra nachos. On the way home, you have maybe a sausage or something, and that's perfectly okay. Do your best to track that. And if you have to add those calories to another day and then try to match it out, that's a tool, that's a resource, that's something that you can try. But the whole point is that you don't want to shy away from it, you don't want to hide it, you want to get a sense of it because it informs your decisions moving forward, and it gives you the opportunity to get back to even. Or I'm okay with just writing it off sometimes, just tracking it and letting it go. Set it and forget it. You've done it, tracked it. Don't even bother trying to get some more deficit moving in the next few days. But you know in the back of your mind, this might be one of the reasons why you don't hit your target of a pound loss this week or whatever. And that's perfectly okay. I think there's some value in you going out and enjoying yourself. But either way, whichever route you decide to go, I think it's important that you face it, you make that measurement, because again, the next time you go out, maybe a win is not, instead of being 700 calories over, you're 500 calories over. So you're still enjoying yourself, but you're not going to write yourself off all the time. And just sometimes the awareness, the information is enough to make a better decision moving forward, next time, so on and so forth. So I think, as I've said, you still should be measuring, even if you feel like you'll be guilty or ashamed of whatever that number is. And I think when you see that number, I want you to put those feelings aside, because all it is you informing your future decisions, you giving yourself a fighting chance to get to your goal without having to feel like you didn't do all that you could.